We're back. Welcome back to another episode of Pivot with Purpose with me, your host always, Carla Ramirez. I'm back. Actually, it's been a crazy week, but I didn't promise. I just told you I was going to come back. And I'm here. I'm really excited about doing it. I've been using the excuse of like, I can't find a guest to come. Well, guess what? We've got a guest. I don't even know what to call you. I remember.
Hermana.
It's not her.
Hermana.
I
think that's what I said.
She is so Spanish. She's the most African Spanish person I've ever met in my life. Literally, she is my sister, like my little sister, off of a DM and some emails. So honestly, shoot your shot. Like I've gotten to where I am shooting my shot as well. So when you came to Florida, which is like, shout out to you, you came to my home. I could have killed you.
You really that wasn't even a thought in my mind because also it's Florida. So like, everything in Florida is crazy. I'm like, wait, I didn't even think for a second this bitch could be nuts. However, my parents were like, Are you sure?
Did
like
they?
I know. Hell yeah. They don't fucking know you. Mind you, I couldn't even have sleepovers in high school because it's like, well, who's gonna be there? Like it's a who's all over their house energy. So I was always at Celeste's house first of all. Like I was at Celeste's house. I could have been at a regular ass person friend's house, but it's just like, let me not. So of course they were like, are you sure you want to do this? Like you did say you met her on the internet, and honestly it was crazy because it was also during the pandemic where they started to see like things shift in their own lives to where they would have been way more skeptical if it wasn't like during the pandemic after such grief. They probably would have been more skeptical, but they were like, this bitch could kill you and Florida is crazy. So,
but we had a great time. We did a retreat and that was the first time I met her in person, but it just didn't feel like it. It's like you got in the car and I'm like,
hey girl.
Yeah, hey, hi. Like we were just on the phone, like whatever, let's just go to the house. And it felt that good. But I feel like aside from business, like you were sent to me, honestly, for more than just a podcast. Like you've been around through shit. I'm 30. You were there from the inception and producing Whatever She Says, which is the podcast that I did with my ex.
Still love that intro.
That intro is
still
fire.
Love that intro. That shit was cute.
Actually cue it in right now because I still own it. You hear me? It was fire. Like you did that. You did that. So that she would do all of that, get guests for it, and then Pivot with Purpose came in. So and at that point, you're now working with tons of other pods, right? And she's just doing her thing, but you're always a phone call away, and that's something that there's no money to that.
I only say allegedly in my head. I didn't say it even out loud. I was like, D&D or not, listen, you get a response back, and especially when it counts or matters. So
yeah,
I love that you said that. And also you do a great job at leading and like letting free. That kind of leadership is the only type of leadership I can be under. Like there's no, please, I'm sorry, did you give me breath in the morning? Like, what the fuck did you think this was, right? So, like, that is so important. You understand that to the core. And, like, I think you lead with love a lot. And I think that's such an important characteristic of your leadership. So, it's a testament to the way you lead and the way you show up.
Soft black girl era. And I'm like, bitch, I want that. What is that?
I want to be soft. I want to be fragile. I want to be a flower. I don't want to do anything.
And men always say, and I hate this, they're like, oh, well, you're so masculine with me. I want to see your feminine side. Well, you don't put me in that.
They definitely have to put you into a feminine space and treat you that way. Because, no. But with me, and I know, like, you witnessed me, like, wanting love, then finding love. Right. And you were one of those people, just like so many others and myself, it was just like, I found my prince. I had my everything, my forever. Mm-hmm. And I finally stopped being strong. I stopped. I let it go. I let him lead. I'm like, I really found a man to just throw myself back. And I closed my eyes, bitch, and I opened up. And it was a fire.
Because that's scary, though.
It's scary, but then it proved me right. It was like, it validated that fear.
Pillows. Like, you were buying pillows and shit.
I was buying fucking fluffy, soft pillows.
You were like home decorating. I was like, who is this bitch? I love this for her.
I loved it for me too. But again, I closed my eyes. I leaned into that feminine side because I really felt safe. I felt protected. I felt loved. And when I opened my fucking eyes, train wreck. shit had gone to shit. So now I'm like, well, am I only supposed to be a strong woman? There's no way I could be weak, because if I'm weak, everything's gonna fall apart. So, then I look back into her special and I looked up some lyrics, which we're gonna go through, because, goddamn, we've been fooled all these years. All these years. INDEPE.
Girl, white toes. I got white toes.
I was showing you my because I'm grown out. I was like, wait a minute. Webby and Lil Boosie was out here telling us to be hella independent. Just to find a bitch who's not independent, want to depend on you all day.
All the time. Because that's what they do. That's always the side bitch is always the one
dependent as fuck.
Yes.
Oh, so you wanted the broke girl. You didn't want want the one at home with the money so she can go 50-50 with you while you go fuck the broke.
And that 50-50 shit.
There's no 50-50 here. We're talking about strong.
Yep.
There's strengths that I have. There's strengths that you have. And I want to bring the strength of my weak side. Not weak, of my soft side.
Your soft era.
My femininity.
Yes.
Let that be strong. That don't mean 50%. I mean 25. I got you with 25.
I made you a home. That's about it.
I'm down with the light bill, the internet, usually, because I'm going to have
groceries.
I love doing groceries. Right. Yeah, I'll do groceries out of my pocket. I'll pay my phone bill.
Yeah.
You definitely got to pay my car.
I like that. Let me add that shit to my list.
Yeah. Oh, no, you pay for my vehicle.
I like that.
But the vehicle got to be in my name.
Facts.
Yeah, because then when you leave,
I'm still need
what just happened, I still have my truck.
Right.
Let me see. What else?
I was telling my mom, and I was saying something to the effect of, man, she was crazy. And my mom said to me, why are all of them crazy? What do they have in common?
You.
And I was like, dang.
How are you driving them crazy?
I think, to be honest with you, I think there was a part of me that was afraid of being loved to a certain level. I think it was hard for me to accept that a woman could love me to this level. I think there's part of me that couldn't believe that you love me that much. And so when you would get to a certain point of loving me, I think I would intentionally try to test you. And in testing you, I'm really pushing you away.
Those tests.
Right.
Boy.
It's a trigger. I'm afraid of having to commit to this person at this level. And so what I try to do is I test you hoping that you'll fail. And I did this over and over and over again.
And when you keep testing, we gonna fail.
And eventually a person gets tired of that.
Yeah.
And she got tired of it. She's like, what else do I have to do to prove to you that I love you? But it was really an insecurity in me. And so after that relationship, and my mom said that I had to do some real things. So before I met Alicia, I went through a period where I wasn't in no relationship.
How long?
Shoot, that was probably like 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And I made a decision, like, I got to really do some real thinking. I got to do some real soul searching, because all my relationships are ending the same way. And these are great women. These aren't like these are women
with the hood rats.
They're marriage material. Like any person would want to marry them.
Right.
And I'm leaving and finding myself in the same situation over and over. And so that was really the trigger for me that I had to do some thinking.
Are there men that will die in that same cycle?
There are a ton of men who will die never knowing what it really feels like to be in a healthy relationship.
I don't want to die. I'm finding my healthy king, even if he's white. I'm gonna find him.
I don't recommend it. We'll talk about that. That's part 2 of the interview.
When I was going into this marriage, I wasn't going to, but I'm like, whatever I do, I want a prenup. Do you guys have prenups?
So we don't, but I do encourage them, and we talked about it.
Oh, you're an attorney.
Yeah, I do.
She's an attorney.
We don't have a prenup, and we did talk about doing it. We didn't do one.
Because both of y'all had things going on.
Yeah, we both had stuff going on. So I do think that they are smart, though, for people that are not, especially like if you're in a situation where you're going to get a large inheritance, or you're coming in with a lot more than someone else. I do think that prenups, it's just a contract. So I have had people come to me and say, I feel some type of way, like I don't think that I should be asked to sign a prenuptial agreement. While we don't have one, it's not because we didn't believe in it. I think it's a discussion that should be had. But if LaRon would have asked me to sign a prenup, I would have said yes. If I would have asked him to sign a prenup, he would have said yes. But
it's because there was already 2 rich people. Both of them was rich. So you listening, you are not rich. If you're not rich, if you're thinking about how the bill is gonna get paid next month, or if you're thinking if you're gonna pay your rent or take the vacation, Do not do what she's talking about.
It's like insurance. Like we all have insurance just in case. And like
it don't matter who goes.
Listen,
what they both gonna have money.
Unfortunately, statistics show that over half of marriages end in divorce. So you just want to be covered just in case.
I mean, hell, look at the ones that wrote the whole book, waited supposedly, and still broke up, still got divorced. There's this thing. I also grew up in a very conservative home. Actually, I will say homophobic home.
Yeah.
And there's always this conversation of if you're gay, something happened to you. You're not born gay. And I just remember thinking about my cousin. I'm like, we grew up. She has been gay since we were big.
That's the dumbest
and I've
thing
asked
ever.
her. I remember asking her all the time, like, did something happen to you? Like something happened, because that's what my family would say.
Yeah.
And have you heard that? Have you been asked?
Yeah, I'm
like,
asked that all the time. I'm asked to the point. I used to talk about this. I was after a show. I have a joke about my dad not being around. I grew up without my dad. And I remember this dude came up to me after the show. It was in Missouri, not St. Louis. It was in a small city outside of Missouri. I was doing shows out there, and he came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Hey, are those jokes about your dad leaving really true?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, he left when I was like 3 or 4." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Do you think that's why you're gay?"
And if that's the case, half of these niggas out here be gay.
And I'm like, "No,
well,
because I have a brother, and he has a wife and 2 kids." And then the dude's like, "Oh. Well, do you think your brother like hung out with your dad more?" I'm like, nigga, you think my brother had a secret dad? You think there's some secret dude showed up to only my brother's like, "Hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do pussy stuff, but not Akeem. He's gonna stay gay." It's like, no, we grew up the same exact way. He was born straight. I was born gay. It has nothing to do with anything.
It's just how you are.
It's just what. But they want to they can't rationalize that, because if they rationalize that you're born that way, then they can't blame you for it, and then they have to accept that it's natural. And then that fucks up the whole ideology. So they're like, no, something had to happen.
We're going to take a break from the episode because our friends at Frito Lay know that joy is bold, vivacious, and contagious. Joy gives life flavor, rhythm, and vibes. And when joy takes flight, it can't be contained. It's robust, more than a smile or a laugh. It's an infectious experience. So here's to all the creators that inspire us with your creativity and passion. Let's keep filling the world with joy. And make sure you look out for My Joy campaign, powered by Frito Lay. Let's get back to the show.
So even as millennial women, I think we still got into this thing where we like financial security for men. And right now, that's just...
I ain't gonna lie to you. So somebody put a poll up, right? And they were like, would you take a man that is like, let's just say whatever number, it's like really great for you, right? But
wait, money-wise.
Money-wise, yeah.
Okay.
A great number. And he's just not the, oh no, you don't want that now. God, did she take a damn straw? It's cool, you got it. But they're just not emotionally available and whatever. Or would you take a man that makes $80,000, works a corporate job, but is super faithful?
How many kids you got?
Let's say no kids.
Okay.
80,000, works a 9-to-5 corporate, and is super respectful, like emotionally intelligent, whatever. And I said, I will take that 80.
No, I mean, me too.
Where I am today?
No,
I'll
me
take
too.
that 80.
Me too. I think that the more money and power that a man has, the less likely he's able to show up for the things that we want. Like, that's where
I won't even say that. No.
Well,
you know why I won't say that?
Why?
Because I have met men like Laurent. Oh, I would love for you to meet Laurent. Laurent Prophet. He's actually been on the podcast, Alicia's husband.
Laurent what?
Laurent Prophet.
I don't want nobody with Prophet after their name. What the hell is that?
Laurent, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. We're going to take a break from the episode because our friends at Frito Lay know that joy is bold, vivacious, and contagious. Joy gives life flavor, rhythm, and vibes. And when joy takes flight, it can't be contained. It's robust, more than a smile or a laugh. It's an infectious experience. So here's to all the creators that inspire us with your creativity and passion. Let's keep filling the world with joy. And make sure you look out for My Joy campaign, powered by Frito Lay. Let's get back to the show.
For anyone listening to this pod, like in your 20s, oh my God, the way I thought I fucking knew
everything
so much that I did not know a thing.
I'm seeing now with my 18-year-old. She's 18,
yep,
bro.
yep,
she don't
yep,
like me for nothing. Yep. She is upset, and
sometimes I don't like you either. She gonna always love you. Now,
I don't
liking
even,
you
at
is
this
a thing.
point, I'm like, does she even love me? Yeah. Does she even love me.
You were mama. I went through phases where I ain't.
Did she hate you at some point?
Oh, did I? Did I?
You hated your mama?
So the problem is, which I actually, yeah, at one point I called her egg donor. Which I think you're being called now. It's possible.
Possible.
But I think that what we don't realize sometimes, and this may be a thing, especially because we're friends, but you real hard-headed.
I am not.
You're stubborn. You're hard-headed.
Not at all.
She don't see.
She's
she ain't been in
projecting.
therapy long enough,
This
y'all.
is called projection.
Y'all, I ain't gonna hold you. No, girl.
How am I?
So-
not now.
So I think though,
I'm very opinionated.
I will tell you, and so the hell is your daughter. And so what's crazy is,
and I love that about her.
Do you?
I do, because at the end of the
Bitch,
day,
you're looking at yourself and you don't even know.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing that I think you battle with. Like, I don't think I realized
You're so much like your mom.
how much me and my mom were fucking like this. And so I'm like, oh, now I see why you ain't like me. Girl, because I'm you. And I think that you haven't gotten there yet. It took maybe till I was about 21, 22 to really start forming, like, even the apology tour with Dane. Now I see why you want apology tour. Apology tour. Girl, that's 2 words. Calm down.
I was like, what?
I know I'll be making up words. But I think that's when I realized, when I started working in maybe 24 actually, a little later.
I keep hearing
it was like, you know what? Bitch, now I see why you wanted that chicken taken out. And I forgot. But bitch, I'm coming out of work. The day has been long and I come home and the fucking house is a mess. You terrors are running around. You're loud. The chicken's not out. So guess what? We not eating. So y'all go eat hamburger helper. Even if you ain't throw out the meat. Like, there's so many things that as a mom, furniture. When I got my own house, I was like, oh, now I see why you was like, stay off my couch. Like, I don't think as children we truly grasp at all what our parents sacrificed, what they spent money on. Mind you, we have inflation now. What they had to go through, how they hid their feelings from us.
I know your mom's smiling right now.
Bro,
She's like,
we literally, no, I don't think any of us realize that until we're like in our mid-20s. Like, and we go through our teens.
You had your responsibilities.
We go through our teens thinking our parents are awful. They're terrible. They don't get us. Oh my God, you broke bitch why we can't eat it lobster, red lobster. Like, do you know, bitch, why the fuck we can't go to Olive Garden? You can't get us Olive Garden? Then we go to Olive Garden and she's like, bitch, stay on this menu. Do not go there.
We're going before 3 o'clock.
You know what I mean?
It's lunchtime.
Then it's like, oh, bitch, now we get name brand cereal because food stamps came in. It's like, you don't realize. You don't realize, actually.
You were the worst.
Oh, all of us. We were like, I guess we'll wait.
Sorry. I am buying you. I'm not buying her lunch today. I'm buying you dinner.
×3. But you don't realize until literally, like, I'm 24 years old with 2 roommates, literally having to fucking figure out, okay, do I have to eat or buy toilet paper? Because I'm looking at my account. And mind you, if you even go back 10 years, the ATM gave increments of 20. Bitch, if you had $20 in your account, you couldn't pull shit out. What the fuck? This shit was stressful. Like, they didn't give you 5s and 10s out the ATM 10 years ago.
See, Ayana's not there yet.
No, you had to have $20 in your account. Bitch, if you had 18, figure it out.
Right.
Am I allowed to cuss on your podcast?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry,
oh, yeah, girl. Oh, you're fine.
I cuss every other.
Yeah, no, we bring the Lord into here, but he knows our hearts. Okay. I'm trying to work on it, but it's okay. We bring all these things into motherhood, and I remember, like, there was a lot of cussing, a lot of screaming, a lot of not a lot of patience, and I had that with my daughter as well. So as I got older, and around 2017 is when I started really working on myself when my dad passed away, and it's like I don't have my safety net anymore, but mommy issues are a lot more intense sometimes, I feel like, than even daddy issues. Like, yeah, my dad wasn't perfect, but he was really there for me. That's why I feel like I was my road dog. And then my mom's like, you have this idea of what you want as a mom. And that doesn't go away. That's the fucked up part. It doesn't go away. I still yearn for that, like, mom that's going to come and, like, call me and be like, how are you? What do you need? Do you need me to cook some chicken soup for you? Like, just kind of check on me. And she doesn't. I know what it feels like for my mom to just be like, well, I'm here. You can come whenever you want. You're my mom.
Right.
I don't care if I'm 36. You're supposed to be the one coming to me and saying, how are you? you? And like, I already did all that. Like, why am I reaching out to you? Why don't you have that motherly feeling to be like, let me go check on my daughter?
Right.
And I really like that triggers me really bad. And it's like, no matter how bad or how much you're like, okay, I am better without them, you still yearn for that mom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What are you doing
my
to
mom,
kind of like, go ahead.
So my mom is definitely doing like some healing in me through her relationship with my daughter.
Okay.
But I still feel like there's like a rift between the two of us. I took my mom and my daughter to Mexico for Mother's Day.
I saw that.
Yeah, my mom was blocked by day 2 on the trip. It was not.
Not blocked.
We were like, the only reason she got unblocked is because I felt bad because I like left the Airbnb and she's a white woman in Mexico. And I was like, she's really not going to be able to figure anything out. They was already not fucking with us for not speaking Spanish. Like her,
and they probably think you speak Spanish.
Yeah, no, she was kind of fucking up my like skate by vibes though. Like it was like, you might speak Spanish, but she's white as fuck. So
right.
We don't trust anything, and bananas are going to be 15 pesos more.
Jesus.
But yeah, like there's just certain things that I realized were a little bit more unhealed than I thought that they were. I remember like being like 10 years old and being mad about something and like running away, and like my mom just walking outside with my brothers and being like, tell your sister bye, like funny shit like that. But then it got to the point where it was like 16, 17 years old where I was actually leaving the home, and like there wasn't that communication. I've had periods of time where I haven't talked to my mom for 2-3 years at a time. And as a mom myself now, I do have more of an understanding about her being disconnected. And again, like I said earlier, just not having the proper tools to be able to like tap in and like figure it out. And I do give her a lot more grace.
We'll talk about this later, but he was like, oh, something about the women. And I said, really? We can't really trap the man. Yes, we could lie about maybe being on birth control, but that means that you're putting the trust on me 100%. And that stuff can go wrong. The man is the one that shoots. Right. So you can choose to shoot somewhere else or wrap it up, right?
But sometimes they prematurely shoot.
Ayana is a pre-cum baby.
Okay.
And I talk about it all the time. When I first started the sex talk, I said to her, in this whole pre-cum situation, they say that it's not true. But she's like, yeah, I heard it in sex ed class. And I said, well, breathe. And she was like, I said, take a deep breath. And she takes a deep breath. And I said, you're a pre-cum baby. It's real.
You're a pre-cum baby, I'll tell you, because I thought I swallowed you.
It was really, your daddy was a virgin and he fucked up. It was his first time. It was our first time.
Wow.
His first time. I thought it was girl, if you're listening to this, I'm gonna fuck you up. I don't know if I'm ready.
There's that.
I don't even know if I know how to do it anymore. Is it like riding a bike?
No.
I'm gonna be.
Nah. We can go a while without sex, and we get back, and I'm like, all right, so my leg goes here, right?
No. Wait,
like.
What's a while?
Like,
what's the longest? Not including when you had a kid.
Shit.
2-3 weeks. About 3 weeks.
The 3 weeks you forgot where the leg goes?
Sometimes, yeah, like what is comfortable? What do we like to do? What's our thing? What's our thing again? What we like? Oh, this one?
I thought it would have been like riding a bike. But I guess it wouldn't because it's a new person also.
It's a new
person. You gotta learn a new person.
You gotta learn
that's why we be going back to the same person and rotating them, because I already know what you like.
Yeah.
But I ain't going back.
They know what works for you.
I'll be damn. I'm gonna catch something.
Learning.
I go back.
I don't like learning that much. For real. I don't want to learn a whole bunch of new shit. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do much.
No.
I don't want to learn or do much.
I'm hearing the problems already.
I'm like, man, I think I didn't put in enough years doing stuff.
I'm laying here. You get it done. You done yet?
Pillow princesses. Ugh.
Yeah, man.
No, not as much as a pillow princess. That's bad. Pillow princesses. That sounds bad.
It's just that when I want to lay, I know I can lay. You know,
you put in enough work before to lay for this one time.
I know that I get.
You got to pass.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. Now, but you have 4 kids, so if I get the timeline right, 5 years, 6 years. You said you have teenagers, so you're who's the step parent?
We came in with kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I came in with my daughter. He came in with a son, and then we had twins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. We thought it was 3.
And then there were 4. I have legit been messaging him and kind of stalking him since about a year. But I started messaging you back in October. But you'd never know, because what I was doing is I would send the message. I would wait like a couple weeks to see if you saw it. And if it didn't say seen, I copied it, unsent it, and sent it again.
What?
So if you ever got
Sorry.
So I've been sending and unsending messages for about 5 to 6 months, because I'm like, I need to talk to this guy. So let's get straight to it. Honestly, I want to know from you, like, I guess we'll know more of your story and who you are. But first of all, what the hell is even a self-aware narcissist? How did we get here? Like, did you give yourself that name?
So actually, I was just being my very first TikTok video I posted. I was just saying, hey, my name is Lee. I've been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And I don't even know where the term self-aware narcissist came from. I think I just saw it in my comment section one time, and I was just like, oh, that sounds better than... Hey, some reason it just rolled off the tongue better than diagnosed for some reason. I was just like, oh, self-aware narcissist. It's catchy, you know? So it just quickly became the self-aware narcissist on TikTok or whatever. And pretty much what a self-aware narcissist is somebody who's aware of who they actually are. You know, somebody who's aware of their tendencies, their personality disorder if they've been diagnosed. And things like that. It's just like somebody, not necessarily, it doesn't mean that they're taking accountability or they're going to change their behaviors. It just means that they are aware of they're aware. Like, I'm woke. It's kind of like, you know, I see, it's kind of like I have glasses on right now. My vision was blurry, but now I have the glasses so I see clear. You know, it doesn't stop me from crashing. I can still crash a car while with my glasses on, but you know, it just gets to the dynamic where self-awareness, it just helps me process life better. For me, you know,
car analogies. You just triggered me. Is it a thing?
I'm just an analogy.
People that are listening know exactly what I'm talking about. But don't worry. No, but I get it. Okay, so you can be aware of what's wrong with you, but continue to do the bullshit.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, yes.
What led you to therapy? Because clearly you have to go to therapy to be diagnosed. So then we go back, like who you are, where you're from, and what led you to even get diagnosed?
So. I can start. I can do a brief rundown of what I have going on. So since I was very, very young, I would say 8 years old, because I don't have a lot of memories when I was a child. So I was 7, 8 years old. I've always kind of felt out of place. It's kind of felt like around my 7th, 8th birthday, I was kind of born. And when I say born, it's kind of like I woke up and realized who I was on that day. I remember being at a birthday party. It might have been my own, but I knew everybody around me at the time. I knew my brother, I knew my mom. I knew everybody around me. I just didn't know who I was. You know, it's kind of weird. Kind of like you woke up and just, hey, I'm living now. I know who these people are, but I don't know what role I play in this. I didn't know who I was, you know, deep down. So I just started kind of mirroring people, acting like people, picking up on behaviors to fit in because I didn't feel like I fit in, you know. Even through childhood and growing up or whatever, I feel like I've always kind of been an outlier. Even though I did fit in, technically I fit in because I had a lot of friends and people who liked me because I'm funny. You know?
Were you awkward? Were you corny?
I was
were
shy,
you popular?
Other than that, I was a shy guy. But other than that, yeah, I was popular. I was an athlete or whatever. I was cool. You know, people like being around me. It wasn't a story until I told the story. I was a very good storyteller. You know, just feeling like I didn't fit in. Carried on through my, you know, my teenage years, through my, you know, early 20s and into my 30s. Like where every single relationship was ending the same type of way. I would just wake up one day and just be disconnected from the person for seemingly no reason. I was just like, I wake up, I'll be in love the night before. I'm like, damn, I love this person. I'll wake up and just look at them. I'm like, who the hell are you? You know, what am I doing with you? You know, I just like, why am I with you? Why I could be doing better? Why am I not doing better? You know, I was so asking myself these questions and blame the other person for making me feel that way. But it wasn't their fault.
You thought it was the other person's fault that made you feel
yeah, it had to be their fault. How's it my fault? You know, they must have did something to me to make me feel this way. I didn't, you know, I didn't just think this way. You know, they did something to me apparently, but I could never understand why. But it became exceedingly frustrating in my 30s when I was married, and I just disconnected from my wife. You know, and then I wasn't where I wanted to be, like life-wise anyway, financially, educational-wise, like body-wise, health-wise. Like nothing was going right in my life pretty much when I was like 30. This is 2017. So me and her got into like pretty much a huge argument where we were yelling and screaming. I was saying, you know, fuck you, get the hell out of here, that type of stuff right there, you know. And I can replace you easily, buy you an inconvenience anyway. You're holding me back. And then on the way out the door, she's like, you know, it's so damn hard living with a damn narcissist. And I was like, narcissist? You're a narcissist. Because in 2017, I thought it just meant cocky, conceited people. You know,
that's what I thought as well. Yeah. It just somebody that's full of themselves.
Yeah, somebody's full of themselves. It's still an insult. I was like, you insulted me. You know, so I'm insulting her. Like, you're the damn narcissist. And I started going into detail. Like, it takes me 5 minutes to get ready. It takes you 3 hours. Like, you so worried about how you look in public. Blah blah blah. You know, I'm talking shit. So she leaves, and I'm steaming hot when she left. You know. So I'm sitting in the bed, mad as hell. I was like, why the hell did she call me a narcissist? So I just pulled out my phone and I typed into Google narcissist, you know, the word narcissist. And it's like, did you mean narcissistic personality disorder? Like, well, I didn't mean that, but like, I don't even know what that is. But let's go. Let's see what this is. So I clicked on it, and they started running it down. Like, I was like, what the hell? And I started reading the signs and the traits and the symptoms, and it just made sense to the questions I had been asking myself for 30 years.
Like, there is a statistic that it takes women 7 attempts before leaving an abusive relationship.
and I believe it. And I believe it.
Me too.
I
because I've been there. And it's like, because you leave, but then there's this sense, and I talk about it all the time, because you're in love and you're literally addicted to the cycle of ups and downs.
As horrible as that sounds, but it's very true.
It sounds like shit, because now that you're out of it, you can see it in someone else. You're like, oh, she's not ready.
And one day, I just felt it, and I was like, I gotta go. So I called an old best friend of mine and her mom knew what was happening. And I called her and I was like, listen, miss, her name. And I'm like, I'm ready to go. Like, please come and pick me up. Like, he was at work and only his mom was downstairs. Wow. And she was like, I'm on my way. And then I started like freaking out, and I was like, oh my God, like if he finds out, he's gonna kill me. So I call her back and I'm like, listen, like, never mind. Like, I'm not gonna go anymore. Like, I'm good. And she was like, no, I'm on my way.
I'm glad you got out of that. Now, how many years later did you meet your husband?
So that was my senior year. I had Enrique as soon as I graduated high school. And then I met Matt a month. I started college in 2006. I met him in October of 2006.
Oh, wait.
So Enrique was born at the end of July.
So how long were you with your baby daddy?
I was with my son's dad, so I was 20. But when I met Matt, he knew.
I was an accountant for 6 years. So I'm like, college.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
You started college.
Uh-huh.
So you were with your boyfriend, but you met your husband.
Yes. But it's interesting the way it works, because when I met Matt, he was like the friend that I needed. And he was very aware of my situation.
So you knew him throughout this abusive relationship.
Bits and pieces, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he knew like what I was dealing with.
Okay.
And it was just so God sent, because he would always like witness to me and talk to me about God. And he would always tell me like, you deserve better. You know, like the world's so much bigger than that. And he would always encourage me, but not like be so deep into it, because we were just friends. And he was aware that I was with my son's dad and I just had a baby. But we just developed such a beautiful friendship.
I had a relationship, I got single, I got engaged, I had a baby, and I met this woman one day. It was Father's Day, 2021, and I decided to call my fiance's son's mother. There it is. Today here on Pivot with Purpose, I have my son's brother's mom, Erica. Can you just, wow.
Really wow. Really wow.
Just thank you for being here.
It's definitely been a long time coming. Like you, I am nervous as well.
I'm nervous as fuck.
All right.
Just thank you
but
for
I'm glad
being
to be here.
Just break the fucking house.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And I grabbed, my significant other's at the time phone and took the number and I called her. Ring.
Girl.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that day?
Well, when I looked at my phone, it's like, what? And I was, I wasn't, to be quite honest, I wasn't, it was shock, right? So I wasn't prepared for that moment. And I was a little
mic towards you.
I was a little reluctant, for more than one reason, right? But started speaking with you. We planned what we planned.
Because I had my intention. I knew what I was calling you for. I was very clear that I was calling you so I could pick up King. I wanted my stepson.
So, was it the meeting? Was the first phone call or?
Yeah. I didn't know what I was going to expect, but you agreed that very first. Well, you did not agree to let him come. You agreed to meet me.
Right. So that was for me the most important thing, was to meet you first, because I had my reservations as to why things were the way they were. And yeah, we needed to sit down, woman to woman. So that's why I agreed. Because yeah, there were some things going on that I didn't like, and that's why.
Why were you okay to speak with me though? You didn't know who I was?
I think first, because I think I'm a woman first, and the fact that you picked up the phone as a woman and you called me, that was huge. And because it's about my son, and because no matter what, I always want my son to have his dad. But there were reasons that wasn't happening, right? So to have another woman and knowing that regardless of how I felt about the situation, that he has a brother, right? And that it was another woman. She has motherly instincts. I knew that my son was going to be okay, so and he wanted it. My son wanted it. It was hard for me, but I'm glad I did it. It was hard because I felt like you didn't understand why or what my reasons were behind. And it's not that he couldn't go or he couldn't, but there were boundaries at that time. And there were things that had already, transpired that made me feel uneasy. So in order for that to happen, the fact that there was another woman, another mom there, kind of put it at ease for me. You know what I mean? Like, I had to pray a lot about that one right there. I had to pray a lot about that.
I am going to drink to this because it is sad. It's so sad.
Oh, I know.
Because
I very recently, wished death upon someone.
Yeah, I don't want to go. See, I don't want to get to that. And this is why I can now sit and talk to this ex. And him and I can have a conversation and acknowledge the things that we've been through, right? You cheated. We had physical altercations. It was never like a sadistic thing. I'll never look at my ex and all the fights that we had and think like, you meant to hurt me. Although he was cheating, he was a cheater. Okay. And he told me, I said, why? I kept asking him why at the bar. And he's like, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. I didn't know any better. I met him when he was 33. I was 26. I'm 25.
That was a time to be alive in Orlando.
I was popping in the clubs. I was a baddie. This right here did not exist. There's no cheaters around. It was a
triathlon Carla.
Word. Ooh, I was a baddie. But I can look at him and be like, I can't ever say he's a bad person. My son's father. It was something, is the word sadistic what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
You want to hurt people. That disorder.
You consciously are doing this.
I wouldn't even say conscious. It's just it's ingrained in their personality. They don't even know. They're so selfish. They don't care.
They don't. But at the same time, it's like, I always used to say this. Do you sleep at night? Because it feels like the brain is always going. You're trying to see what you're getting into next. What you're doing next. What are you doing? What are you keeping up? What lie do you got to keep up with tomorrow?
And who do you have to step on to get there?
So it's like they're not resting. Everything is a plan. Everything is calculated. Nothing is a spur of the moment. Like, oh my God, I tripped and fell. No, you made yourself trip and fall to get this.
Right.
You made this happen. So it's like, at
sad.
Least for me, I already know it's never going to change. And I had a conversation with that person not too long ago.
You did.
And I literally said the two places me and you are ever going to be in the same room is in a courthouse or awake. And I'm not going to be the one that's dead. I literally said that. Those are the 2 instances that me and that person will ever be in a room together.
Hey, Red, what are you up to?
Just making sure all the M&M's gifts are wrapped and the ball's filled.
Remember that one holiday party when we had no M&M's?
Oh boy, I still have nightmares.
The cookies?
Yeah, you used all the M&M's candies that were meant to decorate the party treats, to decorate snowmen. You did it again, didn't you?
They do look cute, though.
Bringing cheer, M&M's for all fun kind.
I love my kids. I tell people now, even though you love your children, if you're not with the father or the mom, a child is a bookmark. It reminds you of the fucking mistake you made that night or nights for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Right, if it's not planned.
If it's not planned.
Exactly.
This
Right,
is why
'cause
you
it-
got to wear a condom, because all you got to do, if you don't believe me, everybody, on Monday mornings, I want you to go downtown in your local area and go to child support court and sit in the fucking lobby. And you would think that you was going to a Future and Drake concert, seeing the people lined up in that. It's for real.
So what is it you don't like about that?
There's a lot.
I'm
Where do we
listening.
start?
Okay.
Okay. So 1, you have 7.
Yes.
I can understand 1 being an oops.
Yes.
I was 17 when I got pregnant with my daughter.
Yes.
18 when I had her.
Mhm.
I will say that was like, fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Never happened again.
Yes.
Why? Because once you know better, you do better. So you're trying to tell me that you know better, but you have a child that's 37. You also have one
Mhm.
that's 16.
Yes.
That is like 19 years difference.
Yes.
And for 19 years, you were still fucking up.
Yeah.
You're giving out this advice that you don't
Yes.
even take yourself.
But no, now the question should be, TK, what have you learned from that situation? Now, let me phrase
It took 7
no.
children for you to learn something?
Success.
And now when you're shooting powder is
Yeah.
when you learn?
Well, not proud. I'm still doing my
Like,
thing. You know,
what?
don't.
There's like nothing left.
No, there's nothing.
You emptied it out.
I'm still healthy. But let me.
All right.
So let me give you the story on this. And you can't teach nobody nothing. You ain't been through nothing.
How much do you have to go through?
Let me finish, because what you're doing, you're playing judge here, and you can't play judge.
I won't judge. Go ahead.
If you're going to be in this position and you're interviewing me,
I'm not interviewing. I'm having a conversation.
You have to be open-minded that people's lives are not always planned or strategized the way other people think their lives should be.
Okay.
So what I've learned in this tape, and a lot of comments, a lot of people think the same way that you think as well, right? But the thing about that story is not to be depressed, understand your life, because I said it in there. I feel bad that I've done that because I wish I could have been the traditional. Let me finish.
Traditional.
Let me finish my story.
Sorry.
Thank
You take forever.
Yeah, but I like to talk slow.
I've been telling this man, he
You
talks
still
like elevator music.
You still interrupted me.
2x.
And I have a. If you keep interrupting me, I can't get my message across, and you come out looking like you really control this conversation, and I want to get my point across.
Turn the mic.
Okay, so my point that I'm making is, you go through life, you deal with certain things, and what makes a man to me is you accept the things you've done. But if you could teach people not to make the same choices that you made, not mistakes, choices that you made, whether someone's in Ghana, whether someone's in Oakland, California, and they hear me say that, and they go, wow, I don't want to be in that same position that TK was talking about, and this is what I'm going to do so I don't end up in that same situation. It's just
so
that
you're like the savior. You fuck it up real bad. So
well, it doesn't matter if I'm a
it.
savior. The purpose is we all are God's children. We all have to do things to give back. So I did what I had to do in that situation, and I apply it to the podcast, and I share with people. Now, different people are going to get what they want out of it. Like you look at it that way.
You want to be Nick so bad.
No. I'm older than Nick. So Nick
wants to be you.
Yeah. So I'm older than him. My point that I'm making, any man, if you can learn from my situation, find one woman if you can, and stick with that one woman.
I just love how it's usually the men that can't keep it in their pants, the men that don't value a woman, the man that can't be in a relationship, the one that goes and tells us, go find one woman. You know who I'm going to take that advice from? From the man that has had the one woman. From the man that knows how to value a woman. That has with their actions on a daily basis shown how they value women. That's who I want to take the advice from. Not the one who's still walking around state to state, putting their thing into anything.
I'm going to still tell you why that's wrong.
Why is that wrong?
Because you have so many people who are habitual liars.
Yes.
And 90% of men are habitual liars.
You know 90% of men?
Let me finish. 90% of men are habitual liars. The same way you got played in a sense having a kid.
I got played.
Yeah, you got played. You got played because you went for what the man was saying in this conversation. And is that your fault? Most women are in that situation.
Actually, it wasn't just that.
No, let me finish. But most women are in that situation. Most women get caught up in the situation.
So, no, let me tell you something. If I were to be caught up by what people just say, I would have had 13 children by now.
Okay, so let me finish. Because
I've had men with the gift of gab.
I know that I'm talking slow, but let me finish my thought.
Let's go.
What I'm saying is there's so many women in that situation in life. There is no right path. There is no, you should do it this way. People do things happen.
But when do you take accountability for not fixing your mistakes?
When kids are here, there's nothing you can't fix your mistake.
Again,
you can only be what you can.
It takes a lot for you to create a child.
It takes about a few minutes.
You know what's crazy? A woman can only get pregnant within a 48-hour time frame of the 30 days.
Yes.
It's like 24 hours, 48 hours.
And your point
very
is what?
small. You know how much fucking you got to be doing raw?
Yeah.
In order to procreate seven children with different women all the time.
You're talking about over 30-something years, though.
No, we're talking about in over 19 years. 7 children. By children number 3, let's say.
Yeah, but that's your opinion, sweetie.
That is just logic.
It's millions of people, of men, that had that type of situation.
Right.
And
how much you paying child support?
Yeah. I don't pay nothing in child support. Ooh. Like, I'm a good dad.
Hold on, but you travel all the time.
Yeah,
They're
but I'm still
on different
a good dad.
But you don't pay child support?
Why would I pay child support?
So you take them to school every day. You take them to the doctor's offices. You take them to practices.
I mess with women that got themselves together.
Okay.
And
like a true toxic man. But you know what it takes physically? I would rather today, where I am today, I'm doing it alone.
Yes.
And it's hard. But you know how easy it is for me to go and work and make the money. I have to have a nanny, right?
Yes.
And she has to, like this morning, I'm at the radio station. She got to take him to school.
Yes.
She sometimes has to take him to practice.
But you don't have no help. My kids, I help their mothers.
That's their mother. How do you help them? With what? If you're not there with time and you're not there with money, how are you helping them?
Yeah, but I am there with time and I'm there with money.
How can you? You're one person, 7 kids, 7 states.
My kids are grown.
When they weren't.
I did it when they was grown.
They didn't grow.
When they was babies.
So they popped out of the vagina at 30?
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, no. What I'm saying to you, when my kids was born.
From 0 to 18. How much?
A lot of time. And we're still close to this day.
What are the ages? Do you even know the ages?
Yes, 37 to 16.
No. Give me 6.
Yeah, 37, 32, 26, 22, 21, and 20 and 16.
So you have 3 that are a year apart.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and they're all in the same state?
No.
So when those 3 kids, let's just focus on 3 out of the 17 you got. Those 3, they're growing up and they have to do like that those first 5 years of their lives.
Yes.
How often could you have possibly been
That's
there?
true. But so
were you paying child support then?
So I don't pay child support.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
The internet is a dangerous place.
I'm telling you. But speaking of social media, there was something that you posted on there, which will lead us into this. And you felt like your baby daddies were just like a Visa card. You sometimes it was something along those lines. I feeling like you're doing it all alone. Feeling either like they were just there to swipe a card.
Yeah.
And that was it.
They feel like since they are on child support, then that weekly payment or that monthly payment should suffice, even though sometimes it is years late, years underpaid, weekly short. I guess it's still wanting to grapple with control.
Right.
My therapist told me that, remove their feelings from it, remove the person from it, and think of it as a money exchange. When you pay or give your money for something, you want something in return. So because they cannot have access to you, because they cannot get in your bed, because they cannot show up at your house whenever they want, that is a waste of money. I.e., they treat you like you stole from them, and I didn't. I raised your children 365 with no breaks. When I had COVID,
when I gave birth. I stayed in the hospital 2 days, came home, and went back to work.
Jesus. How?
I've never had a day off. I only took PTO the last time I came here.
Which I was still like, whoa.
You were like, don't ever do that again.
Don't.
No, it's unbearable. My ex, the one that
the baby's dad,
did the physical abuse, my ex-husband, did come to my son's birthday party on Sunday.
But that's not his son.
It's not. He calls it his stepson. Because he was here when we got married.
I mean, yeah, but
but because my son was older, he witnessed a lot more than the younger ones.
Right.
Yeah, it was hella uncomfortable.
Did your son want him there?
He asked him to come set up the mics and the projector for his friends because he didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
But he ended up coming completely drunk. 3 bottles of Henny in his pocket.
So he hasn't learned his
No, the best way I can describe it was like an orangutan at a child's party. All the adults were staring. He is an alcoholic.
And after all of that and even jail time, it didn't help fix him?
No. And because America, alcohol is legal,
it's like
and they can make revenue off of it, then, it'll limit his visitation or limit his rights, but it doesn't change him as a person. He often blames it on family history, but it's still very uncomfortable. And co-parenting for me, my experience personally, is very toxic.
So the question we asked y'all was, what's the wildest lie your ex told you? Because boy, have we been through some liars. So let's see.
The lies.
The lie.
What's the wildest lie your ex ever told you? Or an ex?
An ex. Well, the wildest lie an ex ever told me was that he had it for the rent. Then the landlord called, said he was being evicted. So I was like, I thought you had it. I ain't put my name on this lease. I own my home. So, yeah, I think that was the biggest lie. I can afford this place when you can't. That might be the first one. Can you think of one?
Yeah. I'm at work and I'm at your job and you're not there. I'm calling. Hey, where are you? I'm at work.
And you're there?
I was standing in the...
Where do you work at?
At the time, Nordstrom Rack.
Stop. So you can walk into the job.
I took the baby because I was on maternity leave and I needed to get out of the house. I was bored. Plus, I wanted to go shopping. He told me so many great things about this store. I had never gone to it personally. I hadn't gone to it.
So you're like, I would love to experience it.
I was like, yeah, I want to go see it. Why not? I don't got nothing else to do. I'm on maternity leave. So I'm like walking around and I'm like, maybe he's on lunch. Lunch came and went. And I was like, I know retail. I know
You did retail.
Don't lie to me. I know fucking retail from the top to the bottom. You can't lie to me about retail. So where was he? He was at work.
No, where was he for real?
I don't know. He was at work.
You never found out?
I never found out.
Jesus.
I remember I said, you're at work? He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, I just talked to Margaret.
She's here. Tell me you're not here.
And she said you're not. She said you don't work here no more.
Oh.
So where do you work? Where are you?
All right. So we're going to get into our advice segment. This is where you send me a letter. You can email it to askcarlawilmares@gmail.com or you can DM Pivot with Purpose Pod. Don't DM me personally because I won't see it. But the first question I have, it says, what the fuck should I do? Literally. Because I've been with my boyfriend for the past 7 to 8 years, and he told me during an argument that we've been in an open relationship. I don't know what to think or do. Honestly, I feel broken. Wait, hold on. He told you that you've been in an open relationship. So he'd been cheating. I don't know. Okay, let me ask. What your question is, I don't know what to think or do. I feel broken. I think you feel, heartbroken, betrayed. I think you're being gaslit. And I know gaslighting is definitely like one of those buzzwords at the moment. But to make you feel like, hey, we've been in this. Like, you should have known. That's not how things work. If there was never a communication that you were in an open relationship, and I have a friend who's in an open relationship, and it works for her. She doesn't feel any type of jealous. They have the communication. They talk about it. They have their thing. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they're in an open relationship. I couldn't do it, but at least she knows it. You should have known this too. So you should feel broken. You should feel sad. What to think? You should think that you need to get out of there. Honestly, 7 to 8 years is a very long time. 7 to 8 years, you should know when this person wakes up and takes a shit. You should know when they are, you know so much about them. And people like change, of course, and evolve, but you know that person. And if you didn't know you were in an open relationship, he knows how to keep secrets. And I don't like that. I don't like somebody who can keep secrets like that. So I think you just got to let him go. Let him go, let her go. I don't know. I don't have a name, but they got to go. My childhood friend of 15 years and I lived together for 3 years as roommates. Mm-hmm. We were amazing friends and great roommates to each other. 2 of the 3 years we cohabitated were during the darkest of the pandemic. So we spent a lot of time together. It was very fun. When I met my boyfriend during the second year of living together, childhood friend and I saw each other less often because I was getting to know him, but she and I still saw each other and texted frequently. About a year later, she met her boyfriend and communication became much less frequent to the point where she often forgot that I had texted her. She used the excuse of, I'm bad at responding, you know that, or I'm super busy, sorry for responding late. I live with my boyfriend now, and she is living alone for a few months until she and her boyfriend moved in together. I miss her a lot, but I don't know what to do or say because I don't want her to think I'm angry. I only want her to be happy, even if that means we aren't good friends anymore. I don't think she'll change her texting habits for me, and she's always wanted a fun and amazing boyfriend, which now she has. I really miss her as a friend. Any ideas on how I can get her back as a friend?
I'm triggered. We should go with the other one.
You did have this happen to you?
As the person who was ghosted by the friend, and I hope you listen to this shit, okay? And I hope you finally call me back. Because you still talk to some of our friends, you bitch. And they tell me. But then there's some of our other friends that you don't talk to. Abusadora.
Tell me how you really feel.
Like the obituary. Fuck you. No.
I am pleased to
announce that we are no longer friends.
I think,
be honest. There's nothing wrong with being honest.
And when you're honest, you're vulnerable. So you have to know that it could hurt you what they'll say.
Yes. Be honest and just say like, hey, I really miss you. I don't think people assume that you're going to be like gum stuck to each other forever. People change, life happens, and that's okay. But I don't think if you have a good relationship with someone, I don't think life should get in the way of that relationship.
Right.
Even if you only check in once a month, once every 3 months, and have lunch or dinner once every 6 months, that's better than just completely ghosting somebody. Living with somebody is very intimate.
It is. I don't know what that's like other than men.
I lived with this bitch.
I never had a roommate.
And it was 3 of us. We lived together.
I'm just going to call you back at this
point. We lived together. We worked at the same store. We saw each other 24/7.
And you don't have closure as to what happened?
No.
That's the worst.
Listen, I would call her on this phone right now and put her on the goddamn podcast. I will put her on the podcast.
I hear you. So I've had this conversation with a friend of mine recently, and she shows up in a certain way for her friends. Her friends are a big deal in her life. And when people don't show up the same way back, it hurts her. And she's like, I can't be your friend. I'm good on you if you don't show up the same way, right? I'm working through it with her. She is intense. So, excuse me. I gave her the example of Dex and I.
Uh-huh.
With her, we talk almost every day. There's a lot for us to talk about. Dex and I don't talk every day. Mm-hmm. Dex actually doesn't communicate much. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she'll go days and won't answer. And I learned that is who she is. Mm-hmm. I show up very different. I can call her more often, or I can show up, and I'm okay with that because I know now after I wanted to fight her for not getting back to me, and she's just like, bitch, stop calling me. I don't want to talk.
I'm tired.
Fine. You don't want to talk to me. But no, it's who she is. She loves me. She adores me. If I call Dex and I said 911 need you here right now, she'll pull up.
Yeah.
But I also know she's not the friend that calls and wants to hang out and is on the phone constantly. So I truly believe that relationships can evolve and it will not always be the same. You won't always show up the same way in a friendship.
Oh, for sure.
When you have a kid, shit changes. When you get married, things change. And just know that you can have that conversation with them. It's like, what can work for you now for us to continue? And if whatever their response is doesn't work for you, that doesn't work for you and it's fine.
Yeah. Like you said, there are friends that you are consistent. Like you talk to them every single day, but there's always that understanding that if I need you,
right,
you're going to show up. And it's not like, oh my God, I need you, my shoe broke. Oh my God, I need you, my tire's out. It's, oh my God, I need you. I'm having a panic attack and I don't have anybody else. Can you pick up my son? Can you watch my son for me?
And I know that every single one of my friends that I don't talk to, and as busy as you are, I know that if I need you, you'll show up. As busy as Jenna and Brittany and Dex, Mandy would fly. She don't even like kids. And Wendy, Wendy has literally like uprooted things, and I'm like, meet me here, let's go. So is knowing the capacity of each person on how they can show up. You can't expect for someone to show up for you the same way you show up for them.
And not all friendships are lifetime friendships.
Back to the outline. We end it with a Bible verse, and this one is Proverbs 18:24, and it says, "One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." So just watch who you keep in your circle. Be very careful, and it's something I've told you many of times on a weekly conversation. Watch who's in your circle and who you call a friend. You have acquaintances, you have business partners, you have friends, but not. There are some that just be careful. Everyone, be careful who you call a friend, who you open up to, who you tell your deepest, darkest secrets to.
Yeah, you be trying to steal on my friends.
You got some cool ones.
I got some great friends.
You got some good ones.
I got some great
But everybody,
friends.
watch the circle you're in because you're letting them in and those energies around you, and you just want to be very careful. Just who's around you, and I'm just grateful for you and your friendship.
I'm grateful for you too. Now we finna go drink because this is crazy.
We're about to smoke.
Wow.
I gotta pick up my son.
Wow. Yeah, she has to be a mom, y'all. She got my fucking family crying behind the scenes. What kind of bullshit? Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. This is another Pivoting with Purpose. It's a pivot, but we're pivoting currently. And PP, pussy, pop it on a handstand, bitch.
Lord, I told you she's a work in progress. She is coming to you at some day. I'll see you guys again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.